Have you heard about the Olmecs? What if an ancient secret has been hidden for thousands of years? New quantum AI technology may have just uncovered a strange language in old Olmec symbols. The Olmecs were one of the first big civilizations in the Americas. Their symbols have been a mystery for a long time. Now, this AI shows the symbols might not be human language at all. It's like the Olmecs were sending a message from another world. This could change everything we know about history. Let's picture a sleek quantum computer quietly humming in a sunlit lab, its processors buzzing with an energy you can almost feel. Screens flash streams of data and curious patterns while researchers hover nearby, eyes wide with anticipation. They are running the kind of AI program that sounds like science fiction, a quantum AI designed to crack ancient mysteries hidden for thousands of years. Suddenly, something clicks. The AI lights up, as if it just woke up from a long slumber, decoding a set of symbols that no human has ever fully understood before. But here's the twist, these aren't just any symbols. We're talking about the enigmatic Olmec glyphs, etched into stones dating back over 3,000 years. For decades, scholars have debated their meaning. Are they early writing, simple art, or something else entirely? Now, this quantum AI isn't just translating these ancient marks into words, it's revealing a language that doesn't fit with any human tongue. In fact, it seems almost alien. Could it be that the Olmecs were communicating with something beyond our understanding? Something not quite human? The idea might sound wild, but this unexpected breakthrough opens a door to questions we never thought to ask about ancient civilizations, language, and even consciousness itself. What's up with the Olmec symbols? Before we dive any deeper into what our quantum AI buddy uncovered, let's take a quick trip back in time to meet the Olmecs. These folks are often called the mother culture of Mesoamerica, and for good reason. Picture this: lush jungles, sprawling rivers, and some of the earliest complex societies in the Americas flourishing around 1500 to 400 BCE. The Olmecs weren't just carving out stone heads that looked like they mean business, they were laying the groundwork for later cultures like the Maya and Aztec. Now, here's where things get really interesting. The Olmecs left behind a bunch of mysterious symbols, glyphs, that have puzzled archaeologists for decades. These glyphs show up on pottery, stone slabs, and monuments, often featuring animals like jaguars, snakes, and birds, plus natural elements like maize and rain. Scholars have speculated for years whether these symbols were just decorative or if they were an early form of writing. Enter the famous Cascajal block, a serpentinite slab discovered in Veracruz, Mexico, in 1999. It's covered with 62 unique symbols, glyphs unlike anything else seen before, and dated to around 900 BCE. Some experts say this block could be the earliest example of writing in the Americas. Others aren't so sure, debating whether it's a proto-writing system, meaning a kind of symbol-based communication that's not quite a full language. What makes the Olmec symbols tricky is that they don't fit the typical alphabet or syllable model that we see in most ancient writing systems. Instead, they seem to combine pictures, signs, and patterns, maybe representing ideas or concepts rather than sounds. This has left researchers scratching their heads for decades, trying to decode what messages these symbols might be carrying. And this is exactly where our quantum AI swoops in, ready to try its luck at cracking what humans haven't quite been able to figure out, unlocking the secrets hidden in these enigmatic glyphs that have long resisted interpretation. Quantum AI, the brainiac that just changed everything. Okay, now that we've got the Olmecs and their mysterious symbols on the table, let's talk about the real star of the show, the quantum AI. If you're imagining a shiny robot with flashing lights and a dramatic Hollywood voice, well, you're not totally wrong. But this AI isn't just a fancy gadget, it's the kind of futuristic tech that makes even the biggest skeptics raise an eyebrow. Traditional computers process information one step at a time, like reading a book page by page. But a quantum computer? It's like reading every page, in every possible order, all at once. This gives it mind-bending power to detect patterns and connections that classical machines could never see. Now, picture combining that with AI, artificial intelligence trained to analyze ancient writing, symbols, and patterns. Quantum AI isn't just looking for simple repeats or obvious clues. It's diving deep into the geometry, context, and even the statistical probabilities of symbol placement. Imagine a hybrid beast, a super brain that can process not just symbols but the subtle relationships between them in multiple dimensions. This AI was trained on a mountain of data, from known ancient writing systems and iconography to natural patterns like fractals and cosmic cycles. It's designed to go beyond mere translation and attempt to understand the logic behind the symbols. The kind of logic humans might miss, especially when the system is based on an entirely different way of communicating. What happened next? The AI started identifying clusters of glyphs that kept popping up together, like secret codes within the code. Instead of decoding them as words or sounds, the AI proposed something wild. What if these symbols represent a conceptual or symbolic language? A language not spoken aloud but understood through patterns and relationships, almost like visual thought forms. In other words, the Olmec symbols might not be letters or syllables, but ideas woven together in a kind of cosmic conversation. This is where the not human part kicks in. The AI hinted that the Olmecs might have been tapping into a form of communication beyond the limits of spoken language, something more abstract, more universal. Pretty mind-blowing, right? This tech isn't just cracking codes, it's challenging everything we thought we knew about how ancient civilizations shared knowledge. So, the quantum AI starts its deep dive into the Olmec glyphs, and here's where things get really fascinating. The decoding sequence, the AI didn't just spit out a dictionary-style translation. Instead, it uncovered a whole network of patterns weaving through the symbols, patterns that seemed tied directly to the rhythms and realities of the Olmec world. First off, it noticed that certain glyph clusters appeared repeatedly in contexts that matched Olmec rituals, agriculture, and celestial observations, the very core of their daily and spiritual lives. Think of it as if the AI was eavesdropping on conversations about maize planting cycles, rain patterns, and river floods, but these conversations weren't spoken out loud. They were encoded in symbol sequences that matched natural cycles the Olmec community depended on. But it didn't stop there. The AI detected relationships between symbols that looked a lot like a kind of hierarchy. Some glyphs seemed to govern or modify others. This hinted at a complex system of meaning, one that wasn't linear like a sentence but more like a web of ideas connected by invisible threads. Imagine the Olmec shamans or scribes using these symbols not just to record events, but to map out relationships between spiritual forces, natural phenomena, and social order. What really blew minds, though, was the AI's proposal that these glyphs might represent a conceptual language, a kind of visual logic that goes beyond spoken words. It's like the Olmecs weren't just describing their world, they were communicating how their world worked on a cosmic scale. Jaguars might symbolize power and the underworld, serpents could be about transformation and water, and certain glyph clusters might represent the cycle of life and death. The AI picked up on patterns that aligned with these interpretations, but arranged in ways that made sense only if you thought of the symbols as part of an abstract system, like the pieces of a cosmic puzzle. This fits perfectly with what we know about Olmec culture. The Olmecs lived in a world where nature, gods, and people were deeply intertwined. Their colossal stone heads and intricate artworks aren't just art, they're expressions of a worldview that blends the physical with the spiritual. So it makes sense that their symbols might reflect a way of thinking that's not just linguistic but philosophical and ritualistic. The AI's findings suggest the Olmec community might have developed a symbolic system to express ideas that were too big for spoken language, like the cycles of the moon, the flow of rivers, or the dance of celestial bodies. It's as if their writing was a kind of cosmic language, a way to connect earthly life with the mysteries of the universe. Imagine the Olmec elders gathering around fires, using these symbols to pass down wisdom about how to live in balance with the land and the stars, encoding this knowledge in patterns designed to be understood on more than one level. The quantum AI's discovery doesn't just crack a code, it opens a window into how an ancient civilization might have thought, felt, and related to the world around them. Unpacking implications. So our quantum AI has cracked open what looks like a non-human language woven into the Olmec symbols. But what does that really mean? And why should we care beyond the obvious wow factor? First off, if the AI's interpretation holds water, it changes everything we thought about the Olmecs, and maybe even the origins of writing itself. Traditionally, writing is about sounds, words, and stories, right? The alphabet, syllables, phonetics, all very human ways to package language. But what if the Olmecs weren't trying to write words at all? What if they were using symbols to map out ideas or concepts? A kind of language designed not for everyday chatter, but for understanding the universe's bigger picture. This flips the script on how we view early civilizations. Instead of just primitive scribes trying to record rulers or trade, the Olmecs emerge as cosmic thinkers, visionaries who encoded their deep relationship with nature, the cosmos, and possibly even otherworldly forces. Their symbols become less like a dusty history textbook and more like a spiritual roadmap. It also challenges our idea of what language really is. Language isn't just sounds or letters, it can be a system of symbols that communicate meaning in ways we're only starting to grasp. The AI suggests the Olmecs tapped into a conceptual symbology, a way to express things that can't be said in words. Imagine trying to explain the flow of time, the cycles of life and death, or spiritual energies using spoken language. Tough, right? Maybe this symbolic system was the perfect tool. Another implication? It raises fascinating questions about consciousness and communication. Were the Olmecs communicating with each other in this abstract system, or were they using it to connect with something beyond human experience? The idea sounds like science fiction, but it taps into ancient Mesoamerican beliefs about gods, spirits, and cosmic forces shaping reality. Naturally, not everyone is ready to jump on this cosmic bandwagon. Some scholars are understandably skeptical.